The Doom posters are here. Let's talk about it, guys. As we know, Augusta is an upcoming character that seems to be pretty damn strong, and with that, we recently got the reveal of her weapon and her kit. And it didn't take no time for them haters to pop out the woodworks and start with the Doom posting campaign. It's officially live. They're already complaining about Augusta in many different ways, be it her kit, her weapon, or many other things. So in today's video, I want to fill you guys in as to some of the crap people are saying, counter everything they're saying, tell you from personal experience, from seeing live in the flesh and doing live calculations for this character. Yeah, there's a lot of misinformation and doom posting going around, so let's hop right in. So as I was telling you guys, we got our girl Augusta dropping in a few days, and the doom posters have actually begun to talk some crap. Now, overall, this normally wouldn't be a problem because people like to complain, whether they're people that actually play Withering Waves or people coming from other games like Honkai Star Rail or Genshin Impact. You never know. But at the end of the day, there's always certain characters that get attacked a lot more and people start yapping without even knowing. Now, the main reason that I wanted to talk to you guys and make this video is because personally, I've seen live in the flesh the numbers, the hours and hours of testing put in by people in the beta servers, and I've seen what Augusta can do. We've tested this character with multiple weapons, with multiple teammates, and there is a lot of misinformation going around. So I kind of wanted to set the record straight, call out some of these goofies talking crap, and overall give you some nice images to look at while I'm over here yapping. Now, this all starts with people like this. LOL, another power creep, and yes, she passes the time, literally. Alright, let's see how the Kuro bots defend this shit. Y'all gonna let him talk to y'all like this? Personally, I wouldn't have it. Oh, also enjoy the 50% damage difference between her free-to-play and signature. It's so funny this game is getting worse power creep than ZZZ, while WoWa players keep shitting on ZZZ for having a power creep, which they solved by buffing old characters, unlike WoWa, where 1.0 characters are forgotten. Lord save me, because I gotta baptize these fools. First off, what do you mean 1.0 characters are forgotten? Motherfuckers still clearing content with Gion, with Yin Lian. What are we talking about? Sure, they might have fallen off a little bit, but they're still clearing content, no problem. Even with the addition of Nightmare Echoes, they kind of buffed up some of the older characters as well. So, I don't know what this is all about. 50% damage difference between her free-to-play and signature is kind of crazy. And even though sometimes it might happen with very few characters, they don't personally know this. They haven't tested it out. And on top of that, they don't know about the other options, right? So let's go ahead and continue. 12% crit rate. What is this garbage? So thing with her weapon, which we will look at later, is that it has very, very high attack. Probably the highest attack in the game, whereas it has very low crit rate. And you know, we like to max our stats. We don't like seeing a low crit rate no matter what. It is what it is. But I feel that calling it garbage with everything else the weapon offers, specifically to Augusta, that's saying too much, right? Now, moving on. I'm not even going to complain anymore because these Kuro bots let it get this bad. They let all these broken weapons keep releasing. Now they gotta have to deal with it. I'm done. Kuro is getting way too aggressive with these best-in-slot weapons. At first, Defense Ignore was unstackable, now it stacks, and now they're giving mediocre crit rate and locking additional crit behind dupes. L. Kuro. I don't know if this person is new, I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt, but we've always kind of had bonus crit in the dupes. You know, if you look at a lot of characters, they S2 and things like that, they get crit, you know, in their kit, like whether it's after liberation, after doing a skill, or simply by getting the dupe, you're gonna get an increase to your crit. So that's not new, that's always been there, you know. And once again, talking about the mediocre crit, we're used to getting about 75 crit rate on all our builds and like 250, 270 crit damage. I'm here to tell you, you can still achieve those numbers with Augusta, with her weapon, even though it has low crit. It is going to be hard like every other DPS where you got to like try to mid-max, get a bunch of crit rate on your pieces, but it's the same with every character that you build that's a DPS. You want to get them some good, you know, echoes. Why couldn't y'all make Cardithea's weapon this good? She only gets an 8% defense ignore, but Augusta gets 37.5. This is power creep in the making. Can't wait for someone to defend this. So, I don't know if y'all know this, but Cardathia is currently the strongest freaking character in the game, right? We're talking about everything considered, talking about them having their weapons. Matter of fact, let's talk about it. Max duped, absolute power versus power, as finished as a unit can get. Cardathia is absolutely insane. She kills things so quick, sometimes you don't even get to see the liberation, right? In that, you know, maxed everything scenario. Whereas all these other characters, you can still see and do their rotations perfectly, so why would you ask for more power for the already strongest unit in the game? I just don't get some of these people. Kuro is getting greedy with each passing day. Kuro is getting greedy with each passing day. This is once again referring to the character, the kid, how they've locked so much stuff, you know, with her kit and her weapons and all that stuff. So I want to talk about that because we're almost done with this. 12% crit rate at level 90. Damn, this is too low. Unless we can run 4-4-1-1 or the Sonata set will grant her some crit rate, right? So people are already getting worried. They're already talking about power creep. They're already talking about Kuro bots and people defending this, that it was Kuro bots' fault that it got this bad. And now I want to clear things with y'all. Let me just show you this real quick and let's move on over to what caused the whole problem. And that was her weapon. One of the main reasons, one of the biggest problems stemmed for her weapon, right? There's a lot of other things that people are complaining, but her weapon caused a big uproar. So let me show you. We have Thunder Flame Dominion. The base stats, we have a very, very high attack, which I believe is probably the highest attack in the entire game, sitting at 675, which is huge. Now, for the crit rate, we do have 12.5, which is pretty damn low. This is about an Echo. This is a little bit higher than an Echo piece. That's it. So overall, that crit rate is very low. And I understand why people might be looking at this and be confused why she got such a low crit rate, okay? As we move on, we get to the real saucy part of this, right? Her weapon skill. And this is where a lot of people are upset, right? So, increases attack by 12%, casting intro skill or resonance skill increases heavy attack damage by 20%. The attack increases up to 24%, and the heavy attack increases up to 40%. So it's pretty damn good, and it stacks up to for 15 seconds. Or not stacks, but it lasts for 15 seconds. So it's pretty damn good. A really nice heavy attack and attack buff. But the next part is pretty much so far exclusively for Augusta. Now, there are other units that are kind of going to be able to use it, but not to the extent that Augusta is. And it's a very strong buff. After obtaining shields, allows heavy attack damage to ignore a certain percentage of the target's defense for 7 seconds, stacking up to 5 times. So at max stats, this thing is going to have about 36 heavy attack damage ignore, and at max dupe, there's going to have about 60% heavy attack damage ignore, which is actually pretty damn crazy. The problem is that there's not a lot of characters that are going to be able to stack or obtain shields stacking up to 5 times. Augusta's the only character that really has that. So people are saying that they feel that this is an overpowered weapon and that the power creep is crazy because there's going to be no other thing that really offers Augusta the same benefit as this weapon, right? As her signature weapon. Now, guys, I personally want to show you some of the things you might have to pay attention before you start yapping. First off, we have the Verdant Summon, right? Pretty damn good. It offers crit damage, so you can go ahead and run a crit rate forecast and you'll be absolutely fine. Also, increases attribute damage bonus by 12%. Every time intro skill or resonance liberation is cast, increases attack damage bonus by 24%, stacking up to 2 times. That's pretty damn good. It instantly fits into her, right? Increases attribute damage and increases heavy attack damage bonus, which is going to be amazing, guys. I'm going to just tell you this right off the bat. Augusta's weapon, and you could mark my words, right? You can come back to this video and tell me if I was right or when I'm right. Augusta's weapon is going to be so close in damage to Verdant Summit that is probably not going to be necessary to pull her weapon if you already have Verdant Summit. Like, the difference between these two weapons, from my calculations, from what I've seen in game, right? Because I've seen live gameplay, right? And I've seen people post calculations online. Now, I don't want to be out here talking about the calculations myself. I'll post them on the screen real quick. Hold on. All right, so here we have some of the calculations that I've seen. Now, I don't vouch by these calculations, just I don't know who did this, but I can vouch by what I saw, and what I saw is very similar to this. It's very close in numbers and is very close in performance. But as you can see right here, they're also agreeing. This person that I do not know is also agreeing that the Thunder Flame Dominion is going to deal very, very, very similar damage to the Verdant Summit. Like, it's going to be pretty much almost the same. So if you have the Verdant Summit, I'm going to be honest, I don't think you should go ahead and get yourself her weapon if you're trying to save and all that good stuff, because it's going to be a very, very close race when it comes to that. Now, on top of that, we also have the Azurite Zenith, which is going to be the brand new Battle Pass Broadblade. And I gotta be honest with you, we couldn't really test these weapons, but this is pretty good. It offers attack, it offers pretty damn good crit damage at that, and then on top of that, casting Resonance Liberation increases attack by a pretty damn good number, and it also increases heavy attack damage, and it goes pretty high, not like super high, but it goes pretty high if you decide to sync it up and get you some dupes of the BP weapon. So you have the Battle Pass weapon out here again, so you don't necessarily even have to pull Geons. Now, of course, the difference between any 4-star and the 5 stars is going to be quite large, but I just want to clarify that you do got options. There are going to be some other 4 stars that you could use, but they're not going to be as synergistic, and you can't expect that as you go down the line from best in slot to second best in slot to third best in slot, and then you're now talking about the 4th, 5th, and 6th best in slot weapons for that character. You can't expect to have every single part of the weapon bonus synergized perfectly or very close to the character. You're getting too far away from it. So that's one of the things I wanted to talk about, because I feel that people are going a little bit extra, bro. Because like when you sit here and you talk about power creep, Kuro bots, 50% damage difference, and all of that stuff, the free-to-play option and her signature, I just think it's a little much, bro. You know, we have our baby girl Augusta over here, and people already dirtying her name. We had the same situation happen with Zani. We had the same situation happen with Brand, and I'm telling you right now, it ain't gonna be like that. Whether you believe these calculations, which I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't really know them, so I can't tell you myself, and there's a lot of limiting factors when you're in the test servers. I'm not in one of them, but I've seen people live playing and all that stuff. And I just gotta be honest with you guys, Augusta is honestly going to be one of the easiest characters to play in all of Withering Wave. She's going to be very easy to play. She's going to be a self-sufficient unit from what I saw. And if you like this character, I'm going to just tell you like this. If you like this character, if you're brand new to the game, you don't have a lot of characters, you just got maybe your Shorekeeper and like another DPS or something like that, go ahead and pull her. She's going to be very good. Go ahead and pull her weapon, and you're going to be great with her. Once again, if you have Geon's weapon, it's really not that big of a deal. I wouldn't, get it myself if, you were on the edge as to where you should put your money. But overall, bro, Augusta seems very, very fun. On top of the fact that she seems very free-to-play friendly, because on top of the fact that, you have other options for her, she works with many units. You can go ahead and run her with the upcoming character, Yuno. You can go ahead and run her with another very interesting character that released recently, like Frolova. She's going to be very, very good with Frolova. You can also run her with the free-to-play option, Mortefi. And let me tell you, she works so good with Mortefi. She works so good with Mortefi that I enjoy the Mortefi Augusta gameplay more than the Frolova Augusta gameplay. So on top of the fact that you will have options, she will be able to deal damage. She's worth getting her weapon if you don't have Geons or anything like that, because it's very good with her. She's just a great overall character, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have to see, because even these words about me saying that, she's a great character and all of that carry no weight until she's officially released and we can test her out. And that's the only time you guys should be out here yapping about a character, after you test her out and see the actual numbers and results for yourself and what a bunch of other people actually live testing on the live servers have to say. Don't start with the BS, guys, We're too early in to be yapping like this. We're too early in to be talking, out like this and starting drama, talking about power creep, Kuro bots, and all that stuff. We are way too early to be on this BS. But that's going to be it for me. Let me know what you think in the comments section below, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.